2020 visions, daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on a mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top, it's missing, fuck the opposition, and all that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial, do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. S-T-R-O. Yeah.
How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you. Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up. I can't spend the day with you. I'm out of my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support ride. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time, another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field, hit the win. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah.
What I do, lace up my shoes, chase W's, great colored coupes. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable, they sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few, can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze, freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit, your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me, naturally I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me, we ain't go together. Like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop, it's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired, can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe, never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. The beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
Coach, it is a sound like no other when they raise that 12th man flag here in Seattle. We just heard it, and that means it's time for football at CenturyLink Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. And a good effort on the return there gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the first play of the game. 62 yards on the ground. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first-and-goal situation. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken very short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at about the 32.
Check 13. Check 13. Check 3. Check 3.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play. It was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
36.
This is Carson. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Mike 55. Check 50. Go. I got one. Mike 55.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, right at the 40.
Under 10, 10, 25, check 20.
Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Pin the mirrors back and go full strength. 41 Mike. 41 Mike.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this 1st quarter. Extra point up and through by Myers. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game.
Lamar Miller, the 30, 10, touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Texans have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney able to record his 5th sack of the season. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
Hey, 0-0-0. Don't get nervous. Shift.
Wilson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
They give it off here to the tight end. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Pulled in at the 24. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
And the Texans first down.
Hey, no, look, we got Mike 50, Mike 50, huh? Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
On first down, Watson. It's Waring, the tight end, with it. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
Here we go.
And if you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They'll try and run for it with Miller. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1.
6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls.
On 2nd and goal, there's an option play left. And he held on to it, but he probably shouldn't have as they get him behind the line. That 2nd down play nets a -4. This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear him now. 3rd and goal. Out of the gun, Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position.
They've got his man complete. That one goes for 30 yards. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. They run the counter. It's Carson, and he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 45-yard line.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
Hey, alert.
They run it with Carson. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 7-yard line. And they will finally get him to the ground at the Texans' 7-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5.
Let's keep push left. 14. Come on. Check, 55.
From the shotgun, Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. They'll try again here from the 7 on second and goal. Now it's Wilson. Forced out to his left, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Benardrick McKinney in there to drop him for a loss on the play.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah, what's going on? It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Right there in the middle, 55. Go. Get off the field. Hey, check right.
On third and goal, Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Will Dissly, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are back within a single score. No surprise there, third and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, he might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Hey, 31. Bang.
Back to throw, Watson. And an alley to run. And avoids the contact by sliding. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
A first down carry now for Miller. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Watson flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Hey, what's up? 19! 950! I got it. He's coming!
And he'll give it here to his running back. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Strong right.
They'll try the air now with Watson. His throw incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive, that culminating in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 19-yard line.
Let's get it.
Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining.
You better be afraid of me.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A gain there of 30 big ones. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit him with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, got his right. Watch Three down.
From the gun, here's Watson. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. An excellent gain, 35 yards.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. To throw is Watson. He's got Fuller. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
And the catch made by Hopkins. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch.
And it's a touchdown. Deshaun Watson as the first half is winding down. And the Texans push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Defense. Let's go, defense. All right, here we go. 12. Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
To throw is Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Flying in to blow that play up, Alex Okafor. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here.
Mike 5-5. Mike,
Go, guys. 4 down. 4 down.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. So coming up empty here to start the third quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
How about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now it's Watson, a bootleg. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Watson. This one brought in by the 6'5" tight end Waring. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now it's Carson. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
You remember me? Let's go, baby. Gun. Check 55, Mike. Oh, you got D? Mike, 55.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quitting him.
0.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Tackle made by Whitney Merciless.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On the jet sweep, here comes Moore. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
I got you. I got you.
Here's Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The third quarter has not been kind to them. After they built that lead at intermission, they've seen that lead shrink.
And how much of that is simply execution? How much of that is maybe you lose your edge a little bit because you've got a lead? And you do have to credit the other team some because they've made some adjustments to start to slow them down. Can they find those counters now, those extra plays or plays they haven't run that'll be effective and get them back moving again?
They'll be looking for something here, anything to seize that momentum back.
I'm coming for you. You
They'll run it again with Miller. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Mike 50. Bring it. Bring it. Show it up. Show it up. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. On deck. Trying to blow.
Watson on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
It's always a goal that's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Trailing here in the second half, went for the aggressive play, got a little too aggressive.
You've got to know when to pull up, or if you're going to go for it, how to take your body across a punter's body and not into him. Not a good play at all.
10th carry now for Lamar Miller. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
49-yard line. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 49-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Again, it's Miller. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. Second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
But not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
The Texans on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Watson's throw pulled in by Hopkins. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
At the Seahawks' 15-yard line.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
And it brings up 3rd down.
The Texans on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Texans push further out in front. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
One left. 51 to Mike.
In your face.
Good touch.
Now Wilson to throw again. He's got a man, complete. A gain there of 30 big ones. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
This throw complete. Wilson finding Lockett. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Wilson will throw again. This complete to Lockett. Give him 32 on the play. He had 1 touchdown earlier, nearly a second one there.
Yeah, it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Here's Carson. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Jerron Brown. His first touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. Myers connects on the PAT. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Watson now to throw. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. After the interception, here's Wilson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. And 2nd down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. He's got Lockett. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. Wilson operating from the gun. Steps away. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. From the gun, Wilson. He's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. They make a good bit of that yardage back as they're set up in much. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
It'll be Carson. They run for it. But he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. So with an even 30 seconds to go, everything will come down to this onside kick. And this will be recovered by the Texans. So victory appears to be in sight. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their third and final timeout, as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.